Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads is brought to you by the Team One Automotive Group, Riverview Regional Medical Center, and Family Savings Credit Union. Now, here's Kelli Johnson.
Welcome to Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads. I'm your host, Kelli Johnson, and I'm here with my special guest, Brad Ryan. Thanks for joining me, Brad.
Absolutely.
We're going to open the show a little differently today. Brad's going to help me do a song that we actually worked on together and were able to record on our CD, Johnson, Conan, Ryan. So, and this song is called
Trying to Get There Too. Here we go. Can you make a difference? Will you make a stand? Are you gonna be ready to take somebody's hand? Tell them what your God can do. Well, I'm trying to get there too. Can you tell your story of how he rescued you? Can you tell it boldly, unashamed and true? How he made your heart brand new. Well, I'm trying to get there too. And I know nobody's perfect, but he loves me as I am. Can't walk on water, turn water into wine, but I know someone who can. So when you tell your story of how he rescued you, stand up and tell it boldly, unashamed and true. How he made your heart brand new. I'm trying to get there too. And I know nobody's perfect, but he loves me as I am. Can't walk on water, turn water into wine, but I know someone who can. We all make a difference when we make a stand. We all need to be ready to take somebody's hand. Tell them what our God can't do. Well, I'm trying to get there too.
I'm trying to get there too.
Yes, I'm trying to get there too.
I'm trying to get there too.
Don't you want to get there too?
You know I'm trying to get there too.
Yes, I'm trying to get there too.
Thanks, Brad. Awesome. Y'all stay tuned. Check us out on kacrossroads.com and Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads on Facebook, and we'll be back with more from Brad Ryan in just a minute. Welcome back to Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads. Right now we're going to hear more from my guest, Brad Ryan, and this is his song, Bathroom Door.
I learned this song in the 3rd grade. It's very wordy. We call it a wordy 30, so to speak. Now, this is the song that I did learn in 3rd grade, and it's called The Bathroom Door. I'd like to perform it for you now. The bathroom door said, "Gentlemen," so I just walked inside. I took 2 steps and realized I'd been taken for a ride. I heard high voices, turned and saw that it was occupied by a nun, 3 old ladies and a nurse. What could be worse than a nun, 3 old ladies and a nurse? The bathroom door said, "Gentlemen, it must have been a gag. As soon as I walked in, I bumped right into some old hag. She sprayed me with a can of mace and slapped me with her bag. This just wasn't turning out to be my day. What can I say? This just wasn't turning out to be my day." Bathroom door said, "Gentlemen, and I would like to find the crummy little creep who had the nerve to switch the sign. 'Cause now I've got 2 black eyes and a big bruise on my behind, and I'll never sit with comfort or joy, boy, oh boy. No, I'll never sit with comfort or joy."
That was Brad Ryan with his song Bathroom Door. We're here with Brad now, and most of you may know Brad from his group 3 on a String, which was started by Jerry Ryan, his father. And if you haven't seen 3 on a String, I suggest you catch one of their shows. It's much more than a musical performance. They really put on a show, and it is something to see. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. But Brad, how did you kind of get into the family group, the Three on a String?
I can remember being 6, 7, 8 years old and realizing, hey, my dad does something different for a living. This is not a normal 9-to-5 job. And I would see him practice, and then I would go to a show. I'd say, wow, they're up on stage, the spotlight's on them, and people are digging what they're doing, you know. So I thought, this is just a really cool way to make a living. And then when I was about 12, I started learning to play the guitar and started learning to sing a little bit. And so by the time I was in college, they had a member leave, and they needed somebody to come in and play the bass. I had never played the bass before, but they said it's easy. It's just like the top 4 strings on a guitar, and just go. And so I said, well, I'll fill in some until y'all find somebody else. Right. And one show led to another and another and another, and it's been a 30-year fill-in, so to speak.
Well, it seems to be working out good for you. As I was saying, the Three on a String shows are just so much more than music. The musical talent is definitely there, but I mean, the comedy that y'all put in there and the energy, it's just...
Well, I think they learned early on, if you want to be able to make a living at this, you need to give them more than just music. And of course, we're not that great at music anyway, so there's always somebody that can play better. There's always somebody that can sing better. But if you entertain them, whatever it takes to entertain them, then they'll remember you, and they'll hopefully have you back. Exactly. So that's kind of been the Three on a String philosophy that Dad started way back, and Dad and Bobby have been, the 2 mainstays in the group ever since 1971, and they've been able to make a living at it for 40+ years now. Wow,
that says a lot to have that longevity in the music business. So, from Three on a String, what other kind of things have you been able to, do? What are some of the coolest jobs you've got to do because of Three on a String?
I can remember I set up a little home studio in my house, and nowadays with digital recording, what used to cost a couple of $100,000, you can set up in your spare bedroom, for a fraction of that cost. Yeah. And I started doing some jingles and started trying to pitch commercial music and that kind of thing. And just one project after another, and I try to surround myself with good, talented people like yourself. And this project that we did, Johnson, Coney, Ryan.
Yeah, the Johnson, Coney, Ryan.
It's a kind of a praise and worship gospel CD. It's got some original songs on there that you written and that I wrote, and we co-wrote some of it together. But that was the project that we recently did. That was lots of fun. Yeah,
that project came about at a time when you were actually diagnosed with kidney cancer.
That's right, and it really tests your faith when something like that comes along. And you always think you have a strong faith, but when you're faced with something like that, all of a sudden you're faced with, and do I believe what I say I believe? Right. Is my testimony going to be one of fear, or is it going to be one of power and strength? And it was so neat to just feel the presence of God, and no matter what happens, I'm a child of God, and my faith is going to be strong, and we're gonna do this thing right, and it feels good to have a brand new testimony and to be able to tell people what God has done in my life.
Right. Well, I just remember when I first heard about the cancer and stuff, everybody's first reaction when you hear cancer is, oh my goodness, but yours was not a stance of faith. You and your wife Jenny both were just so adamant, we're going to use this as a tool for God and show what God can really do.
That's right.
And you've never wavered from that.
Well, I can remember us kind of praying and saying, we just want God to be glorified in this, in every corner of the room, is what we said, and that paints a good picture, and it's a good place to be when you are in total submission to the Lord. Right. And you've got a song that talks about that, and you stand tallest when you surrender all.
Exactly.
And that's on the CD.
That's sometimes hard to do, but God can get your attention.
Oh yes, He has a way of taking you by the shoulders and saying, "Sit right here and don't move until further instructions." Right. And but it is a good place to be.
Well, I'm so glad that I got to know you through that and do some music for you. And we're going to hear some more of Brad's original music, some that was inspired from his testimony. And right now we're going to take a short break. Y'all stay tuned. Make sure you check out Brad's website, www.bradronmusic.com, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads. I'm here with my guest, Brad Ryan. We've been talking about Three on a String and some of the different music and stuff that you've got to do, but you mentioned you do some jingles, and I bet there's one that everybody's heard. Tell us about how you came about with that
Well,
jingle.
You're talking about the Rick and Bubba Theme Song.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
Yes, and Rick and I kind of grew up together. Our dads they went to Auburn together and this and that, and so we would see them twice a year at the race at Talladega.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's how I kind of got to know them. And then when I heard they had a show, it was right here in Gadsden, and they, I said, is that the same Rick Burgess that I grew up? And it was. And
That's so funny.
And so I had my studio by that time, and I sort of came up with that theme song. And the funny thing about recording it is, my wife is like Lucille Ball. She always wants in on the show, and so she said, "I'll listen to them too, and I want to do something." And so I said, "Well, I'll let her in the studio, and then when she leaves, I'll just erase it, and that'll be that." But she came in and put that Rick and Bubba's in the house.
You know Jenny's gonna see this.
Oh
right?
yes. She said she put that Rick and Bubba's in the house, and then I said, "That's good." And now get out. And so, but then when I went back and played it again, I thought, "Hey, that's kind of catchy." And I think that's the most important part of the whole jingle.
It is catchy. I've heard that, and I had no idea that was you. All these years I've been listening to Rick and Bubba and the Rick and Bubba's in the house.
Yes.
That's
yes,
Jenny.
That's my wife.
She's famous.
Yes.
So.
But the neat thing about it is, and to show you how much time has gone by, I took that to Rick on a cassette tape and sent it to him, and he listened to it and said, "Hey, that's kind of catchy, we'll play it." And they played it and have been playing it ever since.
They have, and they're such good guys, and it's so cool to have that. You know, through music you can meet so many people, and which I guess you knew him anyway, but kind of reconnected with him through music.
Yes, and for those of you that don't know, Rick is the real deal. He walks his faith, and we did a benefit concert, and you were part of that when I had my surgery, and Rick came out, and so a big shout out to Rick of the Rick and Bubba Show for doing that.
Yeah, they are good guys, and you know, from jingles to Three on a String, you've got a lot going on in Brad Ryan music, it seems like.
Well, you know, when you're in this business, you just got to try to keep busy, and,
exactly.
And you know, you can't let any moss grow, and you got to keep going and keep the wheels churning and try to keep going from one project to the next, and so it's a lot of fun.
It is, and you're currently working on a Christmas album. I got to be a little part of that. That's exciting.
We have co-written a brand new Christmas song, and who knows how? I mean, I can imagine how hard it is to break into the Christmas music market. But you know what? Sometimes we get inspired by these things, and we just have to do it, whether or not anything happens with it or not. You never know, but you got to do it.
You do have to do it. So how does somebody get in touch with you if they want to book you for jobs? Or you play primarily with Three on a String, but you are open to play with other groups?
Oh, absolutely. As we say, just call us and we'll say yes, and then we'll fill the bill.
Gotcha.
We'll come up with something that can come do it. But yeah, call us, Three on a String. We're always, we love to book. We play all kind of meetings and functions, and you and I can go play at churches, and we can go, perform a lot of the songs off our CD. So just call us.
Travel.
Yeah, and BradRyanMusic.com, and just get in touch.
Available for bookings.
Yes.
Check it out, www.bradryanmusic.com. And right now we're going to turn it over to Brad to do his song, We Can Have a Good Time.
And we can.
We can.
Well, if you want me to, I'll sing for you. I want you to sing too. I want you to sing too. And we can have a good time. If you want me to, I'll sing for you. I want you to sing too. Yeah, I want you to sing too. And we can have a good time. And if you need me to, I'll hold your hand. But you got to hold mine too. You got to hold mine too. And we can have a good time. If you need me to, I'll hold your hand. You got to hold mine too. You got to hold mine too. And we can have a good time. Hey, if I get sad, can I lean on you? You can lean on me too. You can lean on me too. And we can have a good time. If I get sad, can I lean on you? You can lean on me too. can lean on me too. And we can have a good time. And we can have a good time. And we can have a good time.
Welcome back to Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please contact us if you'd like to be a guest or a sponsor. You can find us at kacrossroads.com or on Facebook at Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads. And thank you so much to my guest, Brad Ryan, for being here. We're going to close with Brad's original song, Just What I Need. Brad, tell them about the special project that you're doing with this.
This song is called Just What I Need. And you notice how God's timing is always perfect.
Always.
We can never surprise him. We can never fool him. And that's where this song came from. And if you like this song, what we'd like for you to do is have your church make a version of it, or you do an acoustic version of it and send it to us. That'd be great. And we'd love to see that. So they can send it to
BradRyanMusic.com, and we'll have links to that off kacrossroads.com. Right now, Brad Ryan with Just What I Need.
You're just what I need. Just when I need you, Lord, you're everything to me. You are my Redeemer, my one and only Savior. Lord, you're all I'll ever need. And you're worthy, worthy. Lord, help my faith. Lord, help my patience. Let your perfect will be done.
Let your will be done.
You're worthy of our praise. To you our hands we raise. Jesus, you are the only one who is worthy. Rock of my salvation, Lord of all creation. Worthy is the Lamb, the Word, the great I am. The rock of my salvation, Lord of all creation. Just what I need, just when I need you. Lord, you're everything to me. You are my Redeemer, my one and only Savior. Lord, you're all I'll ever need. And you're worthy. Salvation, Lord of all creation. Worthy is the Lamb, the Word, the great I am. The rock of my salvation, Lord of all creation. Worthy is the Lamb, the Word, the great I am. The rock of my salvation, Lord of all creation. You're just what I need.
You are
just when I need you.